million people are expected to attend the annual Puerto Rican Day Parade in New York City. This year will be a special celebration as the island still struggles to recover from Hurricane Maria. On Friday, my colleague David Begnaud was named the Puerto Rican champion at a gala for his extensive coverage both on air and on social media following the deadly storm. David spoke with WCBS New York anchor Dana Tyler about his time on the island.
You were in the trenches in Puerto Rico. You'd covered hurricanes before, but landing there, what did you think? How were you going to handle it? And let's be clear, as I know you always will, you were not alone. You worked with people behind the camera, people there on the island who helped you. How overwhelming was it?
I had never encountered the emergency to be endless like it was in Puerto Rico. So I've been covering hurricanes since I was 18 years old, right? They last 3, 4, 5, maybe 7 days. But usually the emergency subsides after 72 hours. This one went on for nearly 30 days. In fact, I remember on day 13 asking the governor, who was so complimentary of the Trump administration and complimentary of how Washington was providing everything that he needed. And finally, one day I said, Governor, if you're getting everything you need, then why can't you bring this emergency to an end? I don't know that today it's still an emergency, Dana, but I'll tell you this. I was just there and I watched a woman haul her husband onto a front porch, and she'd been doing it for 9 months. And that man sits in a bed and sits in sweat every day with the bugs biting him, and they still don't have power almost 9 months later. If that happened here in New York City, it'd be the lead story every night until they got the lights back on. Which would be about 2 or 3 nights. Precisely. The lines, the supplies, the need for utilities, just seeing those people, because a lot of your reporting, we were also struck, was that one-on-one. You spoke with people. They came to you, too. They did. The personal stories. How, when you knew they needed so much, you're a journalist, you're a storyteller, you're a human being with a heart. I never thought about that. You know why? Because this whole idea of what am I supposed to do, what am I not supposed to do? Listen, at CBS News, we have ethics, right? So we have standards you got to follow up, period. But at the end of the day, we are humans, and I've got a heart, too. And I followed that. And what that meant was, instead of just covering it, I thought the most adequate way of covering it was living it. And so every morning, forget the makeup, forget the clothes, forget the hair. I had bags under my eyes. You were hair up was all messed the time. Up. We were up all the time, and I just wanted to be where they were because I thought that was the most honest way of making you feel what they were feeling. You were where they were. You were in their homes. Sure. You were in the water. You were absolutely everywhere. Yeah. Ever feel like you were in danger or the people you were with in imminent danger? That's a good question. No, I actually didn't. Not at one point. And listen, you could go anywhere and wouldn't find a police officer. I mean, there were no resources anywhere. So there could have been lawlessness. And look, people were robbing and looting and doing all that kind of stuff. But no, never felt I was more worried about my crew running afoul of a power line or a tree or something like that. But as for harm being done to us, never felt dangerous. How did you, I mean, if people don't have electricity, did you, and I saw one of your tweets where you said, I'm so curious to go into the backcountry. Here was the lifeline, that hotel. Our hotel in Condado on the beach had a generator that never failed. And that was our lifeline. What happened was when we got there, our team went to the GM and said, will you allow us to hack into the network with your permission? Because that is the only way we can get on television in New York. Because there wasn't a satellite truck on the island to be found. We couldn't get the specialized satellite device called a flyaway that we needed. So we had this live view technology, right, that operates on cell phones. And they said, sure, tap into our Wi-Fi. And at the time, they thought they were just doing us a favor. And the general manager ended up walking up to my crew a couple weeks later, and he said, that may have been one of the best decisions I made, because he said it has been a lifeline for us to know that y'all were telling them. Telling the people here. We have a large Puerto Rican community here. The use of social media, too, for that power they were providing you. You were 24/7. What I really appreciated was you have this great ability. You're an observer. Sure. But you're also walking backwards, walking on stuff in and out of places. And I don't mean to minimize what you're saying, but that's how you showed these stories. And the use of social media. Did you wake up, or were you always awake and you go, I got to say this, I have to say, like, for instance, what we have right here? I couldn't go to sleep. I would get to my hotel room and there would be notes people slipped under the door because they snuck into the hotel to ask if I could call this or find out if their mother,
This woman right here, she
just wanted to let people know that she was okay. And I remember we were leaving the Oaxaca Dam when we saw her waving, and I recorded it and I put it out and I thought, who the hell's going to see this woman? Well, guess what? Sure enough, I get this message that it's their aunt, and there, I believe, in Chicago. This video was us just going through San Juan. You see the trash right there? That might look like a pile, but that was starting to stop up the storm drains that was causing more flooding. That was the airport. I will never forget walking through the airport, that baby sleeping in sweat in his stroller as his mother fans him. People, a woman at the front of the line begging because her mother needed dialysis and she thought she had about 24 hours until her mother would be unconscious, and she was begging anyone with a plane to take her mother off the island. I knew I couldn't fix anything for anybody, but I knew I could let people know. And I think that's what we were able to do.
David will have the honor of being one of the leaders of the parade on Sunday. You can watch his full interview with Dana on CBSNewYork.com.
Golden State